He said to them, "The Lord God of Israel has spoken so. I have brought you out of Mesren, from the house of slavery. I saved you from the hands of Mesrenites and all those who had persecuted you. I have wiped them out from before you, gave their land to you. I, the God, am your God, and commanded not to worship the Amorite gods in your land where you reside. You, however, had not listened to my voice." Eventually an angel came and sat under the oak tree of Yosh the Abiezrite in Ophrah. His son Gideon had been threshing wheat near Gath for fear of Midianites. Angel of God appeared and said to him, "O man of might, God is with you." Gideon said to him, "Alas, Lord, why has it so happened to us if God is with us? Where are his miracles by means of which our ancestors has assured us, saying, 'We have been brought from Mesren'? Now God has denounced us, delivering us into the hands of Midianites." Then the Lord looked at him. "You may go with this strength of yours. You shall save Israelites from the hands of Midianites. It is I who send you," he said. He said to him, "Alas, Lord, by what means shall I save Israel? For among Manasseh my clan is the least, and I and my family the smallest." The Lord declared to him, "I shall be with you. You will destroy Midianites single-handedly." To this he said, "If you have grace towards me, show me a sign to prove that it is you indeed who speaks to me. Do not depart until I go and offer you my sacrifice before you." He spoke, "I shall remain until you return." Thus Gideon went and prepared a lamb and unleavened bread with a handful of dough, placed the meat in a vessel, broth he poured in another, and brought it under the oak tree to be offered before him. Then the angel of the Lord commanded him, "Take and place the meat and unleavened bread on this rock, and pour the broth over it." He did so. The angel of the Lord touched with the tip of the staff in his hand the meat and unleavened bread. Immediately fire came out from the rock and burnt the meat and unleavened bread. The angel of the Lord disappeared. When Gideon became aware that it was Jehovah's messenger, he said, "Alas, Lord God, I happened to see the angel of the Lord face to face." The Lord spoke to him, "Peace be to you. Do not fear, for you shall not die." Gideon built an altar for God there. It was named Yehoshalim. It hitherto in the field of Abiezrite in Ophrah. At night God spoke to him, "Bring your father's bull and another bull of 7 years, and wreck the Baal's altar that belonged to your father, and demolish the installment nearby. Upon this peak build an altar for the Lord your God in accordance with law, and sacrifice a burnt offering for the second bull with the ripped-off wood of the installment you destroy." Gideon took with him 10 of his servants and done as commanded by God. However, for fear of his family and people of the city, he has done it at night and not during daytime. When the people of the city rose in the morning, they saw the altar of Baal struck down. The installment nearby was found destroyed, and saw in the newly built altar the second bull that has been offered. They asked among themselves as to who has done this. After much inquiry, it was found to be Gideon, the son of Yosh. City men said to Yosh, "Bring your son outside. He must die, for he has struck down the altar of Baal and has cut off the idol nearby." Yosh said to all those who stood around him, "Is it you who discourse for Baal? You who save him? He who discourse with him must indeed die today morning. If he is a god, then let him discourse for himself against the one who struck down his altar. As he has struck down his altar, let Baal discourse with him," he said. He was named on that day Nehubbel. Eventually, Midianites, Amalekites, and the people of the east crossed hitherside and encamped in Yesreel Valley. Then the Spirit of God came upon Gideon. He blowed the trumpet and gathered beside him Abiezrites. He sent messengers everywhere in Manasseh, gathered them also to him. He also sent messengers to Asher, Zebulun, and Naphtali. They too came and joined them. Then Gideon said to Lord, "If you would save Israel by my hands as you have commanded, behold, I spread out the fleece of goat's skin on the threshing floor. If the dew remain only on the skin and the ground remain dry, then, as you have commanded, I shall know that you would save Israel by my hands," he said. It had happened so. He arose early in the morning the next day and squeezed the skin. A vessel full of dew water has been collected. Gideon again said to the Lord, "Let your wrath not kindle against me. May I speak once more? Let me do a test with the skin once again. May you so order that the skin alone remain dry and all the ground wet from snow. In that night God has done so. Only the skin has been found dry, but all the ground wet from snow. Chapter 7. Eventually Gideon, also known as Ned-Hubble, and all the people with him set off in the morning and encamped near the fountain of Harod. The camp of Midianites, however, has been towards the north near the More hill in the valley. God spoke to Gideon, "The people with you are numerous. In order that Israel shall not boast against me, saying, my hand has earned me salvation, I shall not deliver Midianites into their hands. Therefore you may go and announce that anyone who has fear or is faint-hearted may return from Mount Gilead," he commanded. Then 22,000 of the people turned back, 10,000 remained. God again spoke to Gideon, "People are yet numerous. Take them to the waters. I shall put them to test thence and make known. About whom I command, let him come with you, shall go with you. About whom I command, let him not come with you, shall not go," he commanded. Hence he took the people to the waters. God declared to Gideon, "Separate those who lean down to lap up water like dog from those who bend and kneel down to drink water." Those who lapped up water from the hands to their mouth had been 300. Rest of them knelt and bent down to drink water. With the 300 who lapped up water, I shall save you and deliver Midianites into your hands. He commanded, "Let the remaining people return to their own places." Hence they took food and trumpets. The remaining Israelites he sent back home and retained those 300. The camp of the Midianites had been at the bottom in the plains. At that night God commanded him, "Arise and walk down towards the camp, for I have delivered it into your hands. If you have fear to go down, you and your servant Purah shall go to the camp, for you will hear what they speak. After that you shall gain courage to advance towards the camp." Thus he and his helper Purah went down and reached close to the armed men. But Midianites, Amalekites, and the people of the east has been lying as numerous as locusts in the valley. Their camels were also as numerous as the sand in the seashore. Whilst Gideon went near, one has been describing a dream to another. "I saw a dream. A millet bread had rolled down to the camp of the Midianites to reach until the tents which pushed it down, and thus the tent had remained fallen," he said. To this another replied, "This is none other than the sword of Gideon the son of Yoash, the powerful one of Israel. God has delivered the entire camp of Midianites into his hands." Gideon bowed down when he had heard the dream and its interpretation. Returning back to the camp of Israel, he said, "God has delivered the camp of Midianites into your hands." Then he divided those 300 men into 3 groups. In each one of their hands he has given a trumpet, an empty pot and a torch in the pot, and told them, "Observe what I do and do so. As we reach near the camp you shall do, as you see me doing. At the time when I and those who are with me blow the trumpet, you too shall sound the trumpet stationing around the camp, and say, 'For God and for Gideon.' At the beginning of midday, immediately when they have shifted guards, Gideon and the 100 men with him reached near the camp, blowed the trumpet, and broke the pots in their hands. All 3 groups blowed trumpets and broke pots. On their left hands they held torch, and on their right, trumpets for blowing, and shouted out, 'Sword for God and Gideon.' Each one stood verily in each of their places around the camp. All army began to run. They ran away, crying out. When all 300 had blown trumpets, God set the sword of each one against his friend. Army had run till Beth-shitha by way of Sererah, till the borders of Abel-Meholah near Thabath. Israelites assembled together from Naphtali, Aser, and Manasseh, and pursued Midianites. Gideon sent messengers everywhere in the hill land of Ephraim. They descended towards the Midianites and had been insisted to tell, to capture the waters near Beth-barah and Jordan before them. Thus all Ephraimites had assembled together to capture the waters till Beth-barah and Jordan. Catching hold of Oreb and Seb, the 2 Midianite princes, they killed Oreb on the rock of Oreb and Seb at the winepress of Seb, and went in pursuit of Midianites. They brought the heads of Oreb and Seb across Jordan to Gideon. Chapter 8. But Ephraimites admonished him strongly, asking, "Why had you not called us when you went for war against Midianites? Why has it so occurred to you that you deal with us in this way?" To this he replied, "How least is that I have done when compared with your deeds? Is not Ephraim's gleaning of vineyards better than Abieser's gathering of grapes? Is it not in your hands that God has delivered the Midianite princes of Oreb and Seb? What is that I have accomplished so as to compare with yours? He said. When he had said this, their rage towards him was averted. Then Gideon reached Jordan. Though he and the 300 men with him had become weary, they went across Jordan to follow them. He said to the inhabitants of Succoth, "Do give bread to the army with me, for they are tired. I am following the Midianite kings Seba and Salmunna. Are the hands of Seba and Salmunna in your hands that we should give bread to your army?" So asked the princes of Succoth. To this Gideon, "All right, after God has delivered Seba and Salmunna in my hands, I shall rip off your flesh with the thorns and thistles in the forest." From there he went to Penuel and asked them the same. As the inhabitants of Succoth replied, so had those of Penuel replied. He said to the inhabitants of Penuel, "When I return in peace, I will break down this fort." But Seba and Salmunna and as many as 10,000 men of those who remained with them that belonged to the army of the east were in Karkor. As many as 120,000 of men with swords had been fallen. Gideon went by the way of tent dwellers, east of Nobah and Yogbek, and defeated that fearless army. Seba and Salmunna had ran away. He pursued them, caught the 2 Midianite kings, Seba and Salmunna, and frightened the army to scatter them. Eventually Gideon, the son of Yosh, after returning from war in the morning from the slope of Heres, stopped a maid among the inhabitants of Succoth and asked of him. He wrote and gave him the names of 77 people of Succoth who had been princes and elders. He went to the people of Succoth. "Behold, Seba and Salmunna, of whom you said to me with audacity, are the hands of Seba and Salmunna in your hands, so that we give food to your weary men?" He caught the elders of the city, and with the thorns and thistles of the wild taught the people of Succoth a good lesson. He struck down the fort of Penuel and killed its inhabitants. Then he asked Seba and Salmunna, "How had the men you killed in Tabor looked like?" "Each one looked like a prince like you," they answered. To this he replied, "They had been my brothers, the very sons of my mother. Had you kept them alive, by the Lord I swear, I wouldn't have killed you." Then he told to his firstborn Yeter, "Arise and kill them." But since he was young, he stood in fright and had not drove out the sword. Then Seba and Salmunna told, "Yourself arise and cut us off, for the strength of a man is like his stature." Therefore Gideon arose and killed Seba and Salmunna. They took off the half moon on the neck of their camels. Eventually Israelites told Gideon, "As you have saved us from the hands of Midian, you must become leader to us, and so shall be your son and your son's son," they said. Gideon told them, "I shall not become leader to you, neither shall be my son, for the Lord is your king." Then Gideon said to them, "I request you of one thing. Each one of you must bring the ornaments obtained from the plunder." As they were Ishmaelites, they had golden ear studs. They said, "We shall give you happily." They spread a cloth, and each of them put in it the studs they obtained from plunder. The weight of the golden studs he sought for and received had been 1,700 shekels, besides these half-moons, necklaces, purple cloths worn by Midianite kings, and the chains on the neck of their camels had also been there. Gideon made an ephod out of it and installed it in his city of Ophrah. All the Israel went to it. It became a snare for Gideon and his family. However, Midian came under Israel, not able to raise its head. At the time of Gideon, land attained peace for 40 years. Nedubal the son of Yosh went and lived in his house in solace. Since Gideon had many wives, his own sons were reckoned to be 70. His concubine in Shechem also bore for him a son. He named him Abimelech. Gideon the son of Yosh died at a very old age. He was buried in Ophrah of Abiezrites in the field of Yosh's father. After the death of Gideon, Israelites again went astray and went near the idols of Baal and consecrated Baalberith as God unto themselves. Israelites had not remembered the Lord God who had saved them from all the enemies who surrounded them. Neither had they reckoned the family of Nedubal according to the good he had done to Israel. Chapter 9. Eventually Abimelech the son of Nedubal went to the brothers of his mother in Shechem and spoke to them, and with all the household of his mother's paternal house. Which is more desirable to you, that you be ruled over by all 70 sons of Adubal, or by a single one? Say to all men in Shechem, that they may remember, I am your flesh and bone. Hence, when his mother's brothers spoke these words to all men in Shechem, their hearts inclined towards Abimelech. He's our brother, indeed, they said. Then they gifted him 70 silver bars from the temple of Balberith. With that money Abimelech bought for wage foolish and simple men, and assumed himself as their leader. He went to his father's house in Ophrah and killed the 7 Tysons of Nedubal, his brothers, on a stone. However, the younger son of Yodam, as he went hidden away, remained. After that, all men of Shechem and the house of Millo assembled together at the oak tree near the souvenir statue of Shechem and crowned Abimelech as king. When Yodam received news about this, he went to the top of Mount Gerizim and shouted out aloud to them, O men of Shechem, hear my plea, so that the Lord may give ear to yours. In days past, trees went to anoint a king for themselves. They said to olive tree, You be our king. To this the olive tree replied, Will I denuce my resplendence, owing to which God and men happen to praise me, and set off to reign over trees? Then trees said to fig tree, You may come and be our king. To this fig tree replied, Will I denounce my sweet and exquisite fruits, and set off to reign as king over trees? Then the trees said to vine, You may come and be our king. Then the vine said to them, Will I denounce my essence that gives pleasure to God and men, and set off to reign over trees? Then all the trees said to the thorn bush, You may come and be our king. Thorn bush said to the trees in reply, If you really anoint me as your king, come and take refuge under my shadow, or else let fire from the thorny bush set fire and burn away the cedars of Lebanon. Have you now acted with faithfulness and steadfastness in anointing Abimelech as king? Have you in so doing dealt with goodness to Nedubal and his family? Is it in accordance with the goodness of his deeds that you have dealt with him? My father, whilst he has saved you from the hands of Midian, by fighting for you, not counting his own life to be precious, you have risen against the house of my father, and killed his 70 sons on a stone, and has raised up the son of his maidservant to be the king of men of Shechem, because Abimelech happened to be your brother. In this way, if today you have indeed dealt with Nedubal and his family with faithfulness and steadfastness, you may rejoice in Abimelech. Let him rejoice in you as well. Otherwise, let fire proceed from Abimelech and burn down the men of Shechem and the household of Millo. Let fire from the men of Shechem and from the house of Millo burn down Abimelech also. Having spoken this, Yodam went to Beer and resided there for fear of his brother Abimelech. After Abimelech had reigned over Israel for 3 years, God created discord between Abimelech and the men of Shechem. Men of Shechem began to rebel against Abimelech. Thus the sin that has been committed against the 70 sons of Nedubal was avenged, and their blood came upon the head of their brother Abimelech, who killed them, and upon the men of Shechem, who had been his accomplices in helping him kill his brothers. Men of Shechem assigned at the top of the mountain sneak attackers against him. They started robbing all who went nearby that way. Abimelech received news about this. Then Gaal, the son of Ebed, and his brothers came and entered into Shechem. Men of Shechem trusted him. They went to the fields, plucked the grape bunches, and celebrated the festival, went to the god of their temple, ate and drank, and cursed Abimelech. Gaal the son of Ebed said, Who is Abimelech that we may serve him? Who is Shechem? Isn't he the son of Nedubal and Sebul his minister? Let him serve Hamor the father of Shechem along with his men. Why should we serve him? If these people had been under my hands, I would have removed Abimelech and said to him, Multiply your army and set off. When Sebul the city general heard the words of Gaal, the son of Ebed, he became furious. He sent messengers to Abimelech indiscreet and insisted them to say, Behold, Gaal the son of Ebed and his brothers have arrived in Shechem. They have sabotaged the city. Therefore you and the army who accompany you may set off at night and lie waiting in the field. At morning during sunrise arise and attack the city. Then he can be dealt with due accord when he and the army with him set off against you. Thus Abimelech and the army with him set off at night and lied down hiding near Shechem in groups of 4. When Gaal the son of Ebed stood at the gate of the tower, Abimelech and the army with him arose from the hiding. When Gaal saw the army, he said to Sebel, "Behold, an army is descending from the mountaintop." Sebel answered him, "Gazing at the shadows of the mountains, they appear like people unto you." Gaal again said, "There behold, the army is descending amid the land." Another group is also seen marching by way of the plains, he said. Sebel said to him, "Where is your mouth that has spoken words? Who is Abimelech that we should serve him? Is this not the army that you have ridiculed? Now set off to fight against them," he said. Thus Gaal set off with the men of Shechem and fought with Abimelech. From before Abimelech he ran off defeated. He pursued them till the city gates. Many among men fell down wounded. Abimelech lived in Adhamah. Sebel prohibited Gaal and his brothers from occupying Shechem and drove them away. The next day, people set off to the field. Abimelech received news about this. He divided the army into three and hid in stealth in a desolate place. When he saw people coming out from the city, he charged against them and put them to death. Then Abimelech and the leaders who accompanied him headed toward the city gate and remained in station there. The rest of the two groups charged against the entire people in the desolate land and annihilated them. Abimelech fought against the city the whole day, caught the city, killed the people in it, demolished the city, and scattered salt in it. When the people of Shechem who dwelt in the fort heard this, they streaked into the temple court of El-Berith. Abimelech received news that the Shechem people are all gathered together. Abimelech and the army with him climbed up the Salmon Hill. Abimelech took an axe, cut down a branch from the tree, and placed it on his shoulder. He said to his army, "Observing what I'm doing, you may also do the same in haste." All the army followed suit and cut a branch each, and going behind Abimelech, threw it near the colonnade and set fire to it and burnt them with the colonnade. Thus all the people of Shechem, who were male and female, as many as 1,000, became dead. Eventually Abimelech went to Thebes, encamped there, and seized it. There was a strong tower inside the city. All the people of the city, including all men and women, rushed into it, closed the tower gate, and climbed up the tower. Abimelech reached near the tower and assaulted it. He approached the tower gate that he may set fire to it and annihilate it. Then a woman thrust millstone over the head of Abimelech and broke his skull. Immediately he called upon his maidservant, who was his arsenal carrier, and said to him, "Drive out your sword and kill me, lest anyone should say a woman killed me." His maidservant stabbed him. Thus he died. When they saw that Abimelech had died, Israelites returned back. For Abimelech had killed his 70 brothers. God avenged in this way the sin he had committed against his father. All the sins of the people of Shechem had been brought by God upon their heads. Thus the curse of Jotam, the son of Nedhubal, came upon their head. Chapter 10. After Abimelech, the son of his uncle Dodhav, called Povav, whose son Thola, a man of the tribe of Issachar, have risen to save Israel. He lived in Shamir in the land of Ephraim. He had been judge for Israel for 23 years and died. He was buried in Samir. After him arose Yair, a Gileadite. He had been judge over Israel for 22 years. He had 30 sons who used to ride over 30 asses. They had 30 native lands as well. They are known as the villages of Yair hitherto. They are in the land of Gilead. Yair had died and had been buried in common. Israelites had again done what was undesirable in the sight of God. They served idols of Baal, Ashtaroth installations, gods of Aramites, Sidonites, Moabites, Amorites, and Philistines, and renounced the Lord, not serving him. Then the wrath of God inflamed against Israel. He delivered them into the hands of Philistines and Ammonites. They tormented terribly thence for 18 years all the people of Israel in the land of Amorites, known as Gilead on the thither side of Jordan. Amorites passed across Jordan to fight against Yehudah and Benjamin and the house of Ephraim. Thus Israel was led into a miserable condition. The people of Israel cried out to the Lord, saying, "We have sinned against you in that we have denounced our God and served the idols of Baal." The Lord declared to the people of Israel, "Have I not rescued you from the hands of Misraimites, Amorites, Ammonites, and Philistines? Sidonites, Amalekites, Moabites, and Amorites have caused you affliction. You called out to me, I saved you from their hands. But you renounce me yet. You serve foreign gods. Hence, I shall not save you again. Cry out to the gods you have chosen. Let them rescue you in the times of your trouble. The people of Israel said to the Lord, We have sinned. Do to us as it is befitting to you, but deliver us only today. They removed foreign gods from their midst and served the Lord. Israel had been in great misery. Then Ammonites assembled together and encamped in Gilead. Even the people of Israel assembled and encamped in Mizpah. The people and princes of Gilead spoke between themselves. Who is it who will begin war against Ammonites? He will become leader to all the people of Gilead, they said. Chapter 11. Though Naphtha the Gileadite had been a warrior, he was the son of concubine. Father of Naphtha had been Gilead. Gilead, his wife, also born for him sons. After his wife's sons had grown up, they said to Naphtha, You shall not obtain inheritance in our ancestral house, for you are the son of a illicit woman. Saying this, they rejected him. Thus Naphtha left his brothers to live in a fine land, Thob. Naphtha took the company of few simple people and traveled together. After a long time, Ammonites fought against Israelites. When the Amorites began battle against Israel, the elders of Gilead went over to Naphtha to bring him from the land of Thob. They said to Naphtha, You be our general that we may fight with Amorites. Naphtha said to Gileadites, Have you not removed me from my ancestral house, despising me? Now why do you come to me when you are in distress? The elders of Gilead said to Naphtha, Now we have arrived here to you, that you may come with us to fight against Ammonites and be leader to all the people of Gilead. Naphtha said to the elders of Gilead, Will you make me leader if the Lord deliver Ammonites into my hands for you take me to fight against them? The elders of Gilead said to him, The Lord is witness between us. We shall do as you say. Thus Naphtha went with the elders of Gilead. People made him leader and general of the army. Naphtha proclaimed in Mizpah in the presence of God all things pertaining to him. Eventually Naphtha sent messengers to the king of Ammonites. What is it between you and me that you come to wage war against me in my land? They were so insisted to say. The king of Ammonites said to the messengers of Naphtha, Owing to the reason, when Israel set off from Mesren, they subjugated my land from Arnon to Yabok and until Jordan. Now restore those lands in peace, he said. Naphtha again sent messengers to the king of Ammonites who had been told to say, Naphtha says so. Israel had not conquered the land of Ammonites or the land of Moab. Israel set off from Mesren, traveled through the wilderness to the Red Sea, and reached Unterkim. Israel sent messengers to the king of Edom. It had been told to him, Grant us permission that we may pass through the land of Edom. But the king of Edom had not hearkened. To King Moab also they were sent. He too had not permitted. Thus Israel dwelt in Rekem. They traveled through the wilderness, encircled the land of Edom and the land of Moab to reach east of the land of Moab. They encamped across Arnon. Arnon had been the border of Moab. They had not entered into the borders of Moab. Then Israel sent messengers to Sihon the Amorite king who lived in Heshbon. He had been told, Grant us that we may pass through your land to my place. However, Sihon, having not trusted them enough that they may be permitted to pass through his land, he gathered together his people encamped in Yahasil and fought against Israel. The Lord God of Israel had delivered Sihon and all his people into the hands of Israel. They defeated them. In this way, Israel had conquered the land of the inhabitants of that place, which include all the land of Amorites. From Arnon till Yabok, and from wilderness to Jordan, he acquired all the land of Amorites. Whilst the Lord God of Israel had removed Amorites from amid his people of Israel, do you set out to take over their inheritance? Aren't you reigning over the land your God Chemosh has given you for inheritance? In like manner we will also reign over and savor the inheritance of the people the Lord removed from before us. Are you more worthy than the Moabite king Balak, the son of Zippor? Had he ever entered into an argument with Israel? Had he ever fought with them? Whilst Israel had been living for as many as 300 years in Heshbon and its cities, Arover and its cities, and in all the cities near Arnon, for as many as 300 years, why have you not evacuated all these years? Therefore I have not entreated with injustice towards you. It is you who act with injustice towards me, since you wage war against me. Let God, who is the judge, today judge between the people of Israel and Ammonites." But the king of Ammonites had not given heed to the words of Naphtha, which he sent off. Then the Spirit of God came upon Naphtha. He passed through Gilead and Manasseh, and reached Mizpah of Gilead, and confronted the Ammonites. Naphtha offered a votive offering to the Lord and said, "If you would deliver Ammonites into my hands when I come in peace, attaining victory over them, whatsoever would come to greet me from my doorstep shall be for the Lord. I will offer it as a burnt offering." In this way Naphtha went against Amorites to fight with them. The Lord delivered them into his hands. He brought over them a great onslaught from Aravad to Minnithah until Abel-keramim, gaining triumph over 20 cities. But when Naphtha reached his house in Mizpah, behold, his daughter comes greeting him with music and dance. She was his only daughter. Besides her he had neither son nor daughter. Verily, upon seeing her, he tore his clothes. "Alas, O my daughter, you made my head bend low. You have become one among who cause me grief. I have sworn to the Lord, I cannot refrain." She said to him, "Abba, if you have sworn to the Lord, and as the Lord has avenged you by wreaking vengeance against your enemies, you may do to me according to what has proceeded out of your mouth. But I ask of you one thing." She said to her father, "Grant me a leave of 2 months so that I may go to the mountains with my companions and mourn over my virginity." To this he replied, "You may go and let her leave for 2 months." She went with her companions and mourned over her virginity in the mountains. After 2 months, she returned back to her father. He has done to her as it was offered by him as a votive offering to the Lord. She was not one who had known a man. Then each year it had become a ritual in Israel that virgins went to weep and mourn for 4 days over the daughter of Naphtha the Gileadite. Chapter 12. Eventually, Ephraimites assembled together and went over north to Naphtha and said to him, "Why have you not called us so as to accompany you when you went to war against Amorites? We'll put you inside, set fire to your house, and burn you," they said. Naphtha said to them, "I and my people had a great revolt with Amorites. When I called for you, you had not rescued me from their hands. I went against Amorites, forsaking my life, when I perceived that you wouldn't rescue me. The Lord had delivered them into my hands. As it has been so, why do you come against me today to wage war?" Eventually Naphtha called in all Gileadites, fought against Ephraimites, and defeated them. Since Ephraimites have told you Gileadites are nothing but fugitives amid Manasseh and Ephraim, Gileadites put all of them to perdition. Gileadites had acquired the passages of Jordan on the side of Ephraim. If one among the Ephraimite fugitives would ask, "Let me cross over to the other side," then Gileadites ask him, "Are you an Ephraimite?" If he say no, they would ask him to say Shibboleth. Then he would say, "Sibboleth." Then he would be caught and killed at the passages of Jordan. Thus in those days, as many as 42,000 of the Ephraimites fell. Naphtha had been judge for Israel for 6 years. Then Naphtha the Gileadite died. He had been buried in one of the cities of Gilead. After him Ibzan the Bethlehemite had been judge for Israel. He had 30 sons. He gave in marriage 30 daughters and brought for his sons 30 virgins. He had been judge for Israel for 7 years. Then Ibzan died. He was buried in Bethlehem. After him Elon, a Zebulunite, judged Israel for 10 years in Israel. Then Elon, the Zebulunite, died. He was buried in the land of Zebulun at Ajalon. After him an Ephrathite, known as Abton the son of Hillel, had become judge for Israel. He had 40 sons and 30 grandsons who ride over 70 asses. He had been judge for Israel for 8 years. Then Abton, a Pradhite and son of Hillel, had died. He was buried in the land of Ephraim in Pirathon, the hill land of Amalekites. Chapter 13. People of Israel had again acted so as to displease the Lord. The Lord delivered them into the hands of Philistines for as long as 40 years. However, there was a man in the tribe of Dan who had been a Sarahite. His name was Manoah. As his wife had been barren, she had not conceived. The angel of the Lord appeared to her and said to her, "You are barren, had not yet conceived. However, you will conceive and give birth to a child. Hence you be watchful. You should abstain from wine and drinks. neither eat anything unclean. You will conceive and give birth to a child. Do not let shaving razor touch his head. Boy shall be a Nazir of God from the womb. He shall begin to save Israel from the hands of Philistin. Woman went over to her husband and said to him, A man of God came to me. His appearance had been that of an angel. I was dismayed and hence had not asked where he came from. Neither had he mentioned his name to me. He said to me, You will conceive and give birth to a child. Hence you should abstain from wine and drinks. Neither shall you eat anything unclean. Boy shall be Nazir for God lifelong. Manoah prayed to the Lord, O Lord, may the man of God you sent once again come to us and counsel us concerning the boy to be born. God heard the prayer of Manoah. The man of God came to her again. She was sitting in the field. Her husband Manoah had not been with her. That woman went instantly and informed her husband, Behold, that man who came to me that day has appeared and come to me, she told him. Manoah rose up immediately, went along with his wife, and reached that man. Are you the man who spoke to this woman? He asked him. Is I indeed, he said. Manoah asked him, When your words come to fulfillment, how should we observe all things pertaining to the boy? What should we do concerning him? The angel of the Lord said to Manoah, You should also be watchful of what I have told the woman. You should abstain from any yield of vine. Do not have wine and drinks. Neither shall you have anything unclean. You should also abide by all that has been commanded to her. Manoah said to the angel of the Lord, May you remain until we prepare a goat for you. The angel of the Lord said to Manoah, I shall not eat your food, even if you make me stay. If you offer a burnt offering, do it unto the Lord. Manoah had not known it is the messenger of the Lord. Manoah said to the angel of the Lord, At the time of fulfillment of your words, in order that we may offer a homage to you, what is your name? The Lord's angel replied to him, Why do you ask of my name? For it is accounted with glory. Thus Manoah brought a goat and cereal offering and offered to the Lord his sacrifice on a rock and glorified him. As Manoah and his wife stood gazing, when the flames from the altar rose high in the sky, the angel of the Lord ascended with the fire that rose up from the altar. Manoah and his wife saw this and laid down prostrate. The angel of the Lord had not appeared again to Manoah and his wife. Thus they knew that it has been the angel of the Lord. Manoah said to his wife, We shall die, as we have seen God. Wife said to him, If it has been the will of God, so as to have us killed, he would not have accepted from our hands burnt offering and cereal offering. Neither would he have showed us these things, nor inform us things such as these in this time. Eventually woman gave birth to a child. He has been named Shimshon. Boy grew up. The Lord blessed him. The Spirit of the Lord began to make him walk while in Mahani Dan between Sorek and Escalon. Chapter 14. Afterwards Shimshon went to Thimnah and met a Philistin virgin in Thimnah. He came and informed his father and mother, I have seen a Philistin woman in Thimnah. She should be given as wife to me. In reply to his father and mother, who said to him, Are there no woman in your ancestral house, and in all our people, that you set off to take a wife from the uncircumcised Philistin? Shimshon said to his father, She should be given as wife to me, for I am deeply fond of her. His father and mother had not perceived that this has happened of the Lord, for he had been seeking an opportunity against Philistines. In those days it was Philistines who had reigned over Israel. Thus Shimshon and his father and mother went over to Thimnah. When he reached the vineyards near Thimnah, a lion cub came roaring up to him. Then the Spirit of the Lord came upon him. With his bare hands he tore it apart like a lamb. He had not revealed his act to his father and mother. Then they went over to the woman and spoke with her. Shimshon was pleased with her. After a long time, when he returned by that way to marry her, he went indiscreet to look for the carcass of the lion. Within the lion's carcass he found beehive and honey. He took it in his hand, and eating it, went on his way to his father and mother, and gave also to them. They also ate. However, he had not told them that the honey has been taken from the carcass of a lion. His father went over to the house of that woman. Shimshon spent there 7 days of feast. It was usual with youth to do so. Upon meeting him, there came over 30 groomsmen to sit with him. Shimshon said to them, I shall tell you a riddle. Within 7 days of the feast, if you solve it, I shall give you 30 inner robes and 30 exquisite clothes. If you are without success, You should give me 30 inner robes and 30 exquisite clothes. They said to him, Tell your riddle. Let us hear. He said to them, From the one who eats came food, and from the strong came something sweet. 3 days passed, and they couldn't tell the meaning of the riddle. On the 4th day, they said to the wife of Shimshon, Entice your husband to tell us. Otherwise we shall burn you and your ancestral house with fire. We shall take away his possessions. Shimshon's wife shed tears before him and said, You do not love me. You detest me. You have told a riddle to my people, but has not revealed its meaning to me. He said to her, What I not told to my father and mother would I tell it to you? All the 7 days of the feast she continued crying before him. On the 7th day, however, since she kept nagging him, he told it to her. On the 7th day, before it was sunset, the people of the city told him, What is sweeter than honey? What is stronger than lion? To this he replied to them, Had you not enticed my calf, you wouldn't have paid off my debt. Then the Spirit of the Lord came upon him. He went to Ashkelon, killed 30 people, and stripped off their clothes to give those who paid the debt. His wrath inflamed. He went over to his father's house. The adorable wife of Shimshon became wife to his best of men. Chapter 15. After several days during the time of reaping wheat, Shimshon remembered his wife, and taking a lamb with him, went over to see his wife. Let me enter into the bedroom to my wife, he said. Her father, restraining him from entering inside, said to him, Thinking that you have utter displeasure towards her, I gave her unto your companion. Her sister is more beautiful than her. Let her be for you instead of the other. To that Shimshon replied, Now if I harm Philistines, I am not to be blamed. Shimshon went and caught 300 foxes, looped their tails, and fastened a torch between each pair of tails. He set fire to the torch, and sent them to the field of Philistines. He burned up the straw, yield, and olive yards. When the Philistines went to seek who has done this, they received news, it being Shimshon, son-in-law of Thimnite. His wife he had taken and gave her away to his companion. Philistines went over and burnt her father and household by fire. Then Shimshon said to them, If you act so, I shall not leave you without wreaking vengeance against you. He bashed them and broke their thigh and back. Then he went and dwelt inside the cave of Etham Rock. Philistines went and encamped in Yehudah. Yehudites asked them, Why have you come against us? They answered, In order to chain up Shimshon, that we may do to him as he has done to us. Then 3,000 people from Yehudah went to the cave of Etham Rock and said to Shimshon, Do you not know that Philistines reign over us? What is this you have done to us? I have done to them as they have done to me, he answered. They said to him, We have come to fasten you and deliver you to Philistines. Shimshon said to them, Swear that you for yourselves shall not kill me. They told him, No, we shall not kill you. We shall only fasten you to deliver into their hands. Thus they fastened him with 2 new ropes and took him away from the cave. When he reached Lehi, Philistines shouted out against him. Then the Spirit of God came upon him, and the rope with which his hands had been fastened became like charred off-jute threads. His chains had worn away and fell from his arms. He saw the fresh jawbone of an ass, which he stretched out his hand to take, and with it killed 1,000. With the jawbone of the ass, heap over heap with the jawbone of the ass, I put to death 1,000, said Shimshon. Having said this, he threw away the jawbone from his hand. That place came to be called Asdmot Phako. Then he cried out to the Lord out of thirst. With the hands of your handmaid, you have given this great victory. Now, but should I fall dead from thirst into the hands of these uncircumcised, he said. Then God split open a pit there, from which water gushed forth. He drank, was sublime in spirit, and became active again. Hence it came to be known as Encarno, which is the jawbone of the ass. It prevails even today. He judged Israel 20 years during the time of Philistin. Chapter 16. Eventually, Shimshon reached Eseth. There he saw a whore and went to her. Esethites received news that Shimshon has reached there. They came and sabotaged the place and watched guard at the city gate through night. We shall slay him at sunrise. Saying thus, they sat inert throughout night. Shimshon lay down sleeping till midnight. At midnight he arose and pulled out the city gate together with its door, both the posts, latches, carried it on his shoulder, and headed uphill towards the mountain overlooking Hebron. After that he fell in love with a woman named Delilah in the valley of Sorek. Philistine princes came to her and said, "You should entice him and diligently find out where his great power vests, and how can we possibly subdue him to get hold of him? Each of us shall give you 1,300 silver coins." Thus Delilah asked Shimshon, "You must tell me where's your great power vested, and how can you be fastened and subdued? If you fasten me with 7 bowstrings that are fresh and never dry away, then my strength shall deteriorate, and I shall turn to be like other men," he said. Princes of Philistine brought to her 7 fresh bowstrings that shall not dry away. With those she fastened him. In her inner room there were spies. She said to him, "Shimshon, behold, Philistines are here." Immediately he broke off the strings like charred-off jute strings. The secret of his strength has not been revealed too. Then Delilah said to Shimshon, "You have cheated me and told me lies. You must tell me now as to how you can be chained." He said, "If you bind me with new rope never used before, I will become like other people with my strength deteriorated." Delilah bought new rope, bound him, and said to him, "Shimshon, behold, Philistines are here." In her inner room there were spies. As for him, he broke it off like a thread from his hand. Delilah said to Shimshon, "You cheated me until now, telling me lies. You must tell me by what means you can be bound." He said to her, 7 braids of my hair, if woven into the fabric on the loom of the weaving machine. It shall become possible," he said. She did so and fixed the loom tight. To him said, "Shimshon, behold, Philistines are here." He woke up from his sleep and pulled out the loom and post of the weaving machine. Then she said to him, "How can you say that you love me when your heart is not one with me? These 3 times you cheated me. You had not told me where is your power vested." In this way, each day she nagged him with words and tormented him. He had reached the point of death, sorrow-stricken such that he poured out his heart to her. "Shaving blade has not touched my head. From the time of conception in my mother's womb, I am vowed to God. My strength shall depart from me if my head is shaven. I shall become weak and turn to be like other men." Delilah sent men to summon Philistine princes when she became sure that he has made known his heart fully. "You may come today, for he has let known his heart to me fully," they had been told. Princes of Philistine came to her. They have also taken money with them. She put him to sleep in her lap, calling for a barber, shaved off all the 7 strings of hair. She put him to sleep in her lap. His strength departed from him. Then she said to him, "Shimshon, behold, Philistines are here." Immediately he rose up from sleep, not knowing that the Lord has left him. Thought, "I will shrug myself free." But Philistines took hold of him, pierced his eyes, and chained him away to Eseth. He powdered flour in the prison. After shaving off his hair, it started growing back. Eventually the princes of Philistine said, "Our God has delivered our enemy Shimshon into our hands." They gathered together to offer sacrifice and a great feast for their god Dagon. When the crowd saw him, "Our God has delivered into our hands our foe, who has emptied our land and put to death many among us." Saying thus, they praised their God. When they were in ecstasy, "Bring Shimshon so that he may play before us." Saying thus, they brought Shimshon from the prison. He played before them. He had been stalled between pillars. Shimshon told to the servant who caught his hand, "Let me touch and feel the pillars that hold the temple," to lean over it. The temple had been filled with men and women. All Philistine princes had been there. As many as 3,000 had filled the upper room, including men and women who watched Shimshon playing. Then Shimshon prayed to the Lord, "Lord, O Lord, remember me. Give me strength this one time that I may wreak vengeance against Philistines for both of my eyes." Shimshon leaned over both the central pillars that held the temple, holding one with his right and the other with his left. "May I die with the Philistines." Saying this, he bent over with might. Immediately the temple fell over the princes and all the people in it. Thus those he killed at the time of his death exceeded those he killed during his lifetime. His brothers and all the ancestral house went over, carried him, and buried away in the land of burial of his father Manoah, between Sorek and Escalon. He had judged Israel for 20 years. Chapter 17. In the hill-land of Ephraim, there lived a man named Micah. He said to his mother, "That which you lost by theft, and about which you swore in my hearing, The 1,100 silver coins is, behold, with me. It is I who has taken it. My son, you are blessed by the Lord, his mother said. When he had returned that 1,100 silver coins, his mother replied, I vow to God this silver for my son, so that a carved-out idol and a molten image shall be made. Therefore I return it to you. When he returned the silver unto his mother took 200 silver money and handed it over to silversmith. He made with it a carved-out idol and molten image. It was there in the house of Micah. Micah had a shrine, an ephod, and a household statue had been asked to made. One among his sons has been installed as priest. He had become his priest. In those days there had been no king in Israel. Each one walked in his own way. From Bethlehem of Yehudah, of the tribe of Yehudah, had arrived a man. His name was Levi, and a foreigner who dwelt there. In his expedition to find out a place where he would be let in, he set off from the city of Bethlehem in Yehudah and reached till the house of Micah in the hill land of Ephraim. Micah asked him, Where do you hail from? I am a Levite coming from Bethlehem of Yehudah. I am on my way to live in where there is place available, he answered. Micah told him, You shall dwell with me and be my father and my priest. I shall give you 10 silver money, dress, and food. Thus the Levite entered inside. Levite agreed to stay with him. That young man had become like one among his own sons. Micah installed the Levite as a priest. The young man had become priest for him and dwelt in the house of Micah. Since a Levite had become priest for me, now it is certain that the Lord shall do good for me, said Micah. Chapter 18. In those days there had been no king in Israel. In that time the tribe of Dan sought a dwelling place for their inheritance. Until that day they hadn't received inheritance as their own amid the tribes of Israel. While it has been so, Danites sent from among them 5 men who had been exceedingly fearless from Sora and Ascalon to spy over and examine the land, and to them said, You shall go and examine the land. They reached till the house of Micah in the hill land of Ephraim and dwelt there at night. When they neared the house of Micah, they heard and recognized the sound of the Levite youth. Hence they walked in and asked him, Who has brought you here? What do you do here? What do you obtain from here? He said to them, Micah,
All glory be to the Holy Trinity, one God!
Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus.
Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death. Amen.